Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Megan Scott. I'm a board member of Sustainable St. John, and I'm here today with Ashley Anthony from Green Economy New Brunswick. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that while we meet today on a virtual platform, I'm in New Brunswick, which is situated on the traditional unceded territory of the Wolastoqey, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples. A few housekeeping items. Please ensure that your video is off and your microphone as well for the entire presentation. And also we're going to be recording this session to upload to YouTube. If you have any questions at all, please use the chat window and we'll address them at the end of the session. And we'd ask that you use the chat window for questions only or comments specific to the presentation. Also, we'd like to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Port St. John and Commercial Properties Limited. So their support is absolutely crucial to the work we do here at Sustainable St. John. Great, so for today's presentation, we have Green Economy New Brunswick. They are a bilingual nonprofit hub working with businesses of all sectors and sizes to take action on climate change and to help businesses take action on climate change and build sustainability into their operations. They provide training, resources, one-on-one support that help businesses measure their carbon footprint, set reduction targets, and develop and implement action plans to achieve their goals. So we have Ashley with us today, and she is the Members Engagement Specialist. She's a journalist originally from Toronto, and she's traveled across the country working with Indigenous nonprofit radio communications organizations. Her passion for environmentalism has driven her work at creating change on municipal and business level. And she works with both individuals and businesses to assess what actions they can take now to make a brighter future. So I'll pass it on to you, Ashley.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That was a nice, warm introduction. I'm Ashley Anthony. I'm the Member Engagement Specialist with Green Economy New Brunswick, and I'm so happy to be here today. I want to extend my gratitude to Sustainable St. John for giving us the opportunity to speak with you. I want to also take that moment again to recognize that GENB operates on land which has long served as the site of meeting and exchange amongst Indigenous people, including the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq, the Wolastoqey, the Wolastoqey, and Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, the Abenaki, or nations, or the Wabanaki Confederacy. Now, this territory is covered by treaties of peace and friendship, which these nations first signed with the British Crown in 1726. These treaties did not deal with the surrenders of land or resources, but in fact established a rule for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. It is in this spirit of peace and friendship that GENB honors, recognizes, and respects these nations as the traditional stewards of lands and waters on which we are today. Today, I'll talk to you about Green Economy New Brunswick and the broader national network that we are a part of, why it's important for businesses to focus on sustainability, and how we directly support work for this organization across New Brunswick. Now, please take a moment to introduce yourself into the chat and let us know where your workplace is on their sustainability journey. Is it something that is talked about within your organization, something that is a water cooler topic, or are you guys invested, have a green team, and are really in depth with it? If you could just introduce yourself in the chat and then tell us a little about where your organization's at, that would be fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to your questions and having dialogue. So please feel free to throw questions in the chat as I present, and then I'll make sure to answer them all when we get to the question period at the end. I'll give you guys a moment to introduce yourselves, of course. And then we'll talk about the wonders that are Green Economy New Brunswick and how we help businesses in the province. So we are a new nonprofit hub that works with businesses to set and achieve sustainability goals. We offer a cost-effective option that's practical, collaborative, and follows a community-based approach intended to grow support for the green economy across the New Brunswick. Later in the presentation, I'll get more into depth on the services and support that we provide to the businesses that we work with. But at a high level, we provide support and resources. We deliver training, tailored one-on-one support, and access to best practice resources to help businesses plan and implement their sustainability initiatives and targets. And we do measurement and reporting. We use tools to measure organizations' environmental impacts and track their annual progress. Education networking, so we run capacity building workshops that bring in external experts and provide practical advice to our members. As membership grows, we're building a network of like-minded peers who can connect, teach, learn from, and inspire each other. And celebration and recognition. So we tell stories of businesses taking climate action to raise the bar on sustainability work across the province and give recognition to our members for their hard work. GENB here isn't a standalone entity either. We are part of a national network that's working to shift business as usual. As one of 9 green economy hubs operating across the country, GENB staff and our members benefit from the collective knowledge of this network. This map here shows that Green Economy's Canada's network of green economy hubs, which are community-based programs that bring together businesses of all sectors and sizes and set to achieve sustainability targets. Now, the first green economy hub, launched in the Waterloo region in 2009, was a local solution to engaging businesses in climate action. Since then, we've grown and continue to expand our reach and support Canada's business community. Across the network, there are over 250 organizations of all sectors and sizes currently taking action on climate change and building sustainability into their operations. Now, this slide here shows some of the examples of the diversity of the members in our network. The benefits of these organizations that receive from this membership depends on their sector and size. So, for example, large organizations that have in-house sustainability teams, they find that working with a hub helps bring in new knowledge and connection. It provides a third-party accountability to help keep them on track, and it gives them external recognition for their achievements. For smaller organizations that might just be getting started on their sustainability journey, we support, and this support gives them and provides them with guidance and that one-on-one support that they need to succeed. Now, each business that joins the Green Economy Hub commits to setting a public sustainability target and taking action to achieve it. Through this commitment, members are recognized as green economy leaders and can use this leader seal on their communications. To date, the network has engaged over 500 green economy leaders. All sectors and sizes are welcome, though as you can see here, about 85% of our membership is comprised of small and medium enterprises. And these green economy leaders have reduced over 200,000 tons of greenhouse gases so far. We're really excited to have started our work with our founding members who have joined GENB. I'm going to play a launch video for you. Now, I have to let them speak for themselves, right? And talk about why they joined Green Economy New Brunswick and why they are prioritizing sustainability into their work.
Status quo and make the transition to a vibrant and inclusive net zero future. We support organizations of all sectors and sizes to set and achieve sustainability goals while now is the time to transform business as usual. From the climate crisis to social inequalities, we know the status quo isn't working. Together we can change this. But it will take all of us, every business and organization across New Brunswick, to seize this moment. It's a matter of rethinking what we do and how we do it, and working together to make it a reality. Green Economy New Brunswick sees this possibility. Our network is a place for leaders who are ready to change the status quo and make the transition to a vibrant and inclusive net zero future. We support organizations of all sectors and sizes to set and achieve sustainability goals while maximizing the business benefits of taking climate action.
Dès le début de nos compagnies, on a eu le but d'établir une compagnie qui, dans tous les aspects, pense à l'environnement. Donc, DAS, ça veut dire Durability, Accessibility, Sustainability. Donc, c'est dans nos noms. Mais savoir exactement c'est quoi notre impact, c'est quoi les meilleurs choix qu'on peut faire pour aider l'environnement, ramasser la data pour soutenir nos décisions, ça, c'est vraiment difficile en tant que petite entreprise. Donc, on est très, très, très excités d'avoir l'aide de l'économie verte pour ramasser ces informations-là, comprendre c'est quoi notre impact actuel, puis c'est quoi les meilleurs choix qu'on peut faire pour améliorer cet impact à l'avenir.
So as a leadership team, we talked about how to become a greener company or a greener organization, but we really didn't know where to start. We really didn't have any clue how to go about doing it. When Green Economy New Brunswick reached out to us, it became apparent that they could provide the expertise and the framework to help us create a program to reduce our environmental footprint. The other aspect or the other benefit is that this is something that's expected by our customers and our employees, and it should enhance our brand image.
Gros avantage que j'ai pu percevoir déjà avec les quelques réunions qu'on a eues, c'est de voir quels sont les défis pour les autres secteurs. Nous autres, le secteur communautaire, on a nos défis, mais c'est drôlement différent du secteur manufacturier ou industriel. Alors, pour nous autres, c'est un éveil, puis on peut voir qu'on va faire à notre façon un impact.
I want to take real meaningful action, and this was one way to do that. Being part of Green Economy New Brunswick gives us a network, so we can talk to other small, medium-sized businesses, find out what they're doing, and learn from that. I also feel that we're part of a movement, and so it's important that we all take a step on our own, but to be part of that larger organization can affect more change and be part of a tipping point.
En tant qu'entreprise dans le solaire et donc les énergies renouvelables, on pensait que c'était important et même primordial pour notre compagnie de faire partie de cette organisation et d'être un membre fondateur. Donc c'était important pour nous que ce soit un organisme provincial parce qu'on pense que ça va être très important de d'abord montrer ce message au sein de notre province et montrer qu'il n'y a pas que dans les grandes villes où on peut être respectueux de l'environnement et faire des actions, mais même dans les provinces les plus petites, on peut arriver à faire des grandes choses.
Economy verte Nouveau-Brunswick aide des entreprises de tous les secteurs et de toutes les tailles à prendre des mesures pour le climat tout en réalisant des économies d'argent, en engageant leurs employés et en bâtissant leur réputation comme leader de l'économie verte. Nous vous offrons un soutien personnalisé, des outils et des ressources de qualité, des ateliers éducatifs, un réseau de pairs et une célébration publique des progrès réalisés. Economy verte Nouveau-Brunswick fait partie d'un réseau national en pleine croissance dirigé par Green Economy Canada et composé de 8 autres centres d'économie verte à travers le pays. Ces centres ont mobilisé plus de 500 entreprises qui ont collectivement réduit plus de 200 000 tonnes d'émissions de gaz à effet de serre. Ces entreprises montrent qu'il est possible de créer des organisations et des communautés plus fortes et plus résilientes tout en ayant un impact positif sur la planète. Alors, rejoignez-nous et améliorons les affaires ensemble.
There we go. I love that one because I always feel like it's got such a jaunty, vibrant tune that comes with it. It makes me feel good. So why do businesses care about this stuff? You know, it's beyond feeling like it's the right thing to do. Businesses are seeing that it's simply a better way of operating. So corporate responsibility is more important than ever as more and more consumers are looking for products and services that align with their personal use. Businesses that can credibly demonstrate how they are working towards things like sustainable development goals can build customer trust and loyalty, as 91% of consumers currently expect businesses to operate responsibly to address social and environmental issues. We know that 76% of millennials, who now make up the majority of our workforce, consider a company's social and environmental commitments when deciding where to work. We're seeing growing investor expectations and alignment with companies that build and disclose environmental, social, and governance practices, with companies like BlackRock, which holds $9 trillion in investments, saying that they are now going to ask companies to disclose how their plan aligns with a net zero future. Applying a sustainability lens to business activities helps companies identify supply chain, regulatory, physical, and reputational risks. And of course, embracing sustainability can generate new product and market opportunities that can also address social and environmental challenges and empower your workforce to think differently. This is where the world is headed. And we're encouraged to see that more and more companies are looking at how to take this seriously. In a recent survey of our network, 100% of respondents said that they felt more connected to a local movement of businesses taking climate action as part of being part of this hub. And 95% of respondents told us that they had experienced decreased utility bills, increased competitiveness, and enhanced brand as a result of implementing sustainability projects. 98% of respondents said that the support of a green economy hub has helped them reduce their environmental footprint, form new connections, and ultimately raise their profile within their community. We know that this work is important. We know that. Yet many businesses face challenges to get started on or maintain that momentum with their sustainability work. Common challenges may include not having the internal knowledge necessary to know where to start on sustainability or where their highest impact opportunities for reduction are, or internal capacity and competing priorities, which is especially true for SMEs who often lack dedicated staff to take on the work. Even the most motivated organizations find it difficult to stay on top of available support, apply for funding programs rather, and go beyond these one-off projects to work on long-term sustainability strategies. Upfront financial costs of undertaking these projects and getting third-party support can also be hard. Where they exist, funding programs tend to focus on capital projects instead of activities like measuring emissions, developing action plans, and building internal knowledge and skills. Lastly, engaging employees and getting buy-in across management teams to embed and advance sustainability can be an ongoing challenge. So how do we support businesses? Now let's take a closer look at how we support our members to take action on climate and integrate sustainability into their operations. Each of these supports and services that we deliver has been designed with the goal of helping to overcome the common challenges that we just walked through. We support our members through this standard milestone journey, moving from measuring their greenhouse gas inventories to developing an action plan and setting targets, and then implementing those targets to achieve results. They are encouraged to actively update and reimagine their plans and targets as they move forward to keep this work top of mind and relevant. To do this work, members are supported with a variety of tools and services that you see here at the bottom of this slide. Now, we start by working with each member to create their GHG inventory using 3 years of historical data in line with the World Resource Institute GHG protocol standard. Now, as part of this, we also document their methodology and data collection processes in an inventory management plan. Now, this plan is useful for transparency, institutional knowledge, and to support consistent data collection practices year after year. We then help connect the emission sources from their inventory to their business activities and provide them with an annual brief to capture their sustainability progress as we update their inventory each year. Over the first 2 years of working together, our focus is on establishing our members' GHG inventory, developing an initial action plan, and helping them set ambitious but achievable reduction targets. We'll also share best practices to help them identify opportunities to communicate their sustainability objectives to their stakeholders and be able to tell people what they're doing. And to support that work, we provide foundational training on the topic, access to peer learning and connection opportunities with peers, as well as tried and tested resources from across the Green Economy Canada network so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. We also support each member with one-on-one and with different focus areas depending on what their organization needs the most to move their sustainability work forward. Now, this could look like supporting them with employee engagement or communicating to senior management, identifying and implementing their action plan, or identifying and supporting them to apply to relevant funding opportunities to finance their work. A key function of Green Economy New Brunswick is to build a movement for a net zero transition in New Brunswick by making the work that businesses undertake visible and instilling a bigger sense of purpose. Now, we create case studies, produce an annual report, host an annual recognition event, and actively engage the media to shine a spotlight on the individual and collective work underway. The awards and recognition of businesses or their peers receive, that motivates them to go further. And that also inspires new businesses to get on board. Then these business stories are further amplified nationally through Green Economy Canada's channels. Members also have the opportunity to participate in groundbreaking sustainability projects with their national peers to grow their profile and affect larger scale changes. Now, here are some of the examples of projects that Green Economy Canada has led over the past year. We worked with a cohort of small and medium manufacturers to identify pathways to net zero for their organizations and look at the system barriers that need to shift to accelerate this work across the board. We also supported a group of public sector organizations in the development of sustainable IT procurement strategies. And we currently have an electric vehicle charger incentive program where businesses can receive up to 50% back on the installation of an electric vehicle charging station, up to $100,000. This funding is provided by Natural Resources Canada and is dispersed through Green Economy Canada. My colleague Esther, who you got to see in the video there, is putting the link in the chat for this program if you'd like to learn more. And of course, we will continue to develop projects like these over the coming years based on the needs and the interests of different members in our network, and where we see an opportunity to contribute to new knowledge in the sustainability space across Canada. And then as members move forward from those initial 2 years of intensive support to get through their inventory, that action plan, and target setting, they will continue to receive support that they need to achieve these results. And this includes annual progress updates, ongoing one-on-one support, access to capacity building events, policy and funding updates, and ongoing recognition opportunities, which are very important. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to share some examples of financial, operational, and sustainability success that members of other hubs in our network have experienced. Now, let's start off with Your Credit Union. They're a small financial service cooperative with branches in Ottawa and Cornwall, Ontario. Now, they set greenhouse gas reduction targets of 20% below 2016 levels by 2026. Now, they have already blown past that, achieving 40% reductions. And to achieve these reductions, they instilled a new building automation system, which saved 130,000 kilowatt hours per year, shaving 30% off their annual electricity bill. They also reduced business travel pre-pandemic, so you have to give them credit there through their use of video conferencing. And they introduced the first green home mortgage in Canada to encourage consumers to offset their carbon footprint with bullfrog power. Walker Emulsions is a small manufacturer based in Hamilton, Burlington, Ontario, and they provide wax and asphalt emulsions to a variety of industries and municipalities across Canada, the United States, and Mexico. They installed a water softener, just a water softener in their operation, with the final goal of preventing buildup in their process heat exchangers. This project realized natural gas and water reductions and saw less than a 2-year payback period on their investment. Additional savings, of course, will be achieved through the reduction of overtime hours worked and through the energy required for routine heat exchanger cleanings, as well as extended lifespan for that equipment. And let's move on to Veriform. They're a steel fabrication company in Cambridge, Ontario. They have a really impressive story behind their sustainability work, having implemented over, listen to this, 100 sustainability initiatives in 12 years. They have managed to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by 77% while doubling facility size and increasing their workforce over 30%, proving that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand. Now, to pull back and wrap up my presentation portion of today's event, the higher level intention of our work with GENB is to, as a hub, bring together, support, and publicly recognize businesses in setting and achieving sustainability targets, and those businesses' success Those success stories inspire other businesses to get involved and drive local demand for green products and services to help the local economy and create new jobs in the province. Over time, the goal is that a critical mass of businesses are engaged in this work. And the support for green policies and investments continue to increase as businesses understand the importance of these supports to further advance their work. If Green Economy New Brunswick and taking action on sustainability has piqued your interest, feel free, and you feel like it's a great fit for your organization, or if you're interested in learning more about our services and other supports that we can provide you, please get in touch. You can reach us at hello@greeneconomynb.ca, and you can learn more on our website as well. The link is being put into the chat now. Now, membership fees are determined on a sliding scale depending on organization's size and complexity of their operations, and you might also be eligible for our current pandemic recovery rebate. I just want to again say thank you for your attention and for giving me a chance to share more about what we do and why sustainability is such an important focus for businesses and organizations across the province. I would love to answer any questions that you have now, so feel free to put them in the chat. And of course, here is some additional contact information if you'd like to look up Green Economy New Brunswick and contact us through any of these various channels.
Great. Thank you very much, Ashley. I'm just having a look through the chat, and I do see one question in there from Laura. So she's asking, I think, about if your organization or program would be applicable to municipalities.
Actually, we do work with several municipalities throughout our hubs, and we think that working with municipalities is a very important and integral step because they're very influential. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk, right? And we want businesses within those municipalities to look at them as a sign of leadership. So we do work with municipalities in a number of ways.
Great. I have a few questions of my own.
Awesome.
And of course, if anyone has any as we're talking, just put them up in the chat there. So I wonder if you could speak a bit about kind of what kinds and to what degree companies need to have existing resources in place, really, for this to even be, feasible for them.
Well, that's the wonderful thing is that we work with companies no matter where they are in their sustainability journey. So a number of organizations approach us just not knowing where to start, knowing that they have the intention and they have the need and the desire to be more sustainable, to reduce their emissions and be part of this, global wave of consciousness, but they just don't know where to start. And so we help them with that. We give them a snapshot of where their emissions are coming from, and we offer them that guidance and support to make those critical steps, develop those plans, and instill this idea of sustainable operations right into their business operation.
So would Green Economy NB have, kind of do the work for them in terms of creating a plan and collecting data and that sort of thing, or do you need resources internally to do that?
So I would love to say that we do the work for them, but unfortunately there is a bit of, commitment that it takes on the half of the organization. So we help you identify where it's coming from. Of course, you have all of your bills and the information, and we basically give you the tools on how to process that into one document. Then we bring that back and we create this plan for you, and we go through this plan, and then each organization themselves makes their action plan based on the results of their GHG inventory and on the suggestions that we have given them. So yes, we do outline a lot of initiatives that you can take within your organization to increase your sustainability efforts. But a lot of that also is us working with the business because you know how you operate. So us working with you to develop this action plan and to set these achievable, but ambitious targets. We want you to feel like you are supported and encouraged and have that drive to continue forward. And we support you every step of the way. But when it comes down to actually making the action plan, it's something that we do together.
Great. And you talked about your pricing structure as well, being on a sliding scale. Could you go into a little more detail about that in terms of how it's determined, or if even ballparks in terms of what a company might expect to invest?
So it's a scale because there is such a variety in the organizational complexities of each company or business or organization that we work with. So what we're looking at is basically the number of full-time equivalent employees that you have, the size of your fleet. So these are owned vehicles that operate under your business, and the number of facilities that you have. So if you have a large number of facilities, for us to create our data collection and analysis, it might take a little more effort. So it's a sliding scale based on those three factors. And then, of course, right now we have our pandemic recovery rebate. So we're looking to help, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic, we're looking to help businesses take that step forward, that right next step forward, and feel supported and not overwhelmed while they do it. So it's really a case per case basis, but we would love to talk to more organizations that are interested in implementing in sustainability within their organization. So if anybody would like to reach out to us, we can set up additional meetings to talk specifically about how your organization operates and how our participation together might look.
Okay, great. We've had a couple of questions come through the chat, so that's great. From Andrew, so for businesses who don't own their own facilities, they lease or have some other arrangement, how can you help them? Would they need to connect you with the building owner and develop plans between the three organizations?
So it is always great when tenants.
Good question.
Yeah, when tenants and the owners of the facilities have good working relationships, because it benefits both people, and we have tried and tested resources that look into how it's beneficial for both. If it's a leased facility, we really look at the business operational activities that are happening and what behavior that you're taking or what changes that you are in control of and can institute, and how that will benefit your business. So it's really what is in your control. We're not going to we're not going to ask you to retrofit a business or a building that you don't necessarily own, but it could be always a great way to move forward and talk to your landlord about these exact same important strategies and think about that together, right? Because there are ways to cost share these initiatives and for both people to benefit. So if you have a great working relationship, we always encourage you to incorporate that into it, but it's always within your action and behaviors and your business activities.
So would you say that if the organization does not own the facility that they're operating in, they wouldn't necessarily include those in their emissions? Or
well, we still look at things like your electricity use, your water usage, your waste and consumption, and all of these scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. So there's a lot of activities that we can control, even if we just lease a space. So think about like the lights, right? The lights are something that every business has control over, and you can make changes in the operation of your lighting system to ensure that you are having more sustainable practices, see better cost benefits, and at the same time, it's not such a hefty task that it feels like it's insurmountable. So we're really looking at what your business activities are and how you can adjust those. So if you have a leased space, we can work with you and look at how your specific business operates and then go from there.
And what's within their control.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, thank you. Another question from Jocelyn. Can we apply as a property manager and work on several different owners' properties, or would each property owner apply? So that's kind of a similar question to Andrew's, but
That's actually a really interesting, I believe that you guys can, it depends on what you can control. I do have Melissa Gerard. Now she is an
Okay.
expert on all things sustainability. So
Hold on, Melissa.
I
I'll
will
get you.
pass this one to her because she'll be able to give you just a better informed and in-depth answer regarding this specific question.
Thanks, Ashley. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm unmuted. Awesome. Hi, I'm Ashley's colleague. We work together on Green Economy New Brunswick. So as a property manager, you could certainly join Green Economy New Brunswick. I guess, Jocelyn, I'm not exactly sure how you work between your organization and the property owners. I guess you're a property management company. So yeah, as a property management company, I guess it depends on, as Ashley said, kind of what organizational or operational control you have over the buildings you're supporting. You have total control. Okay, thanks, Jocelyn. That's helpful. Yeah, so you could absolutely join, and we could work with you on the portfolio of businesses that you're managing to help improve their sustainability. And we could look at, a subset of those buildings too, if that was of interest. But yeah, we're happy to chat with you more.
Great. Thanks, Melissa. And thanks, Jocelyn. I had a couple of extra questions. We still have a little time left. So you had mentioned that the member companies are expected to set publicly kind of available sustainability targets. Can you provide some examples of what some of those might be? I mean, GHG emissions kind of obviously, but are there other targets that?
Well, that's really up to the company, and it depends on their goals and objectives. So they can publicly declare any targets that they'd like. And the whole idea behind the public declaration is really about greenwashing and making sure that they are following through on their promises and making sure, again, that we are talking the talk and walking the walk. So I imagine, for example, if there was a company that off the top of my head had a large fleet and we're creating emissions from this large fleet, like they could make a declaration that they are streamlining their delivery operations to reduce emissions, and however they would want to strategize that with their overarching goals, right? The whole process of that, though, is for, like I said, for transparency. We don't want to come off as somebody who's helping people greenwash. We want to make sure that there's data integrity with this collection, that the collection happens year after year, and we're seeing this progress along their targets, and we're helping support them in that, and then that they're celebrating those targets, right? So that celebration and that public recognition, it really helps build your brand. Anybody who's talking about sustainability right now is in the forefront of everybody's mind. And as well, it really starts to attract the type of businesses that you want to work with as well. Like it can make your business look more lucrative. It has a lot of appeal, but for us, it's really about that transparency and recognizing that you're putting the work in and you're putting that effort in, and that you're celebrating your efforts and setting that standard and that bar for other businesses within your sector or that operate close to your organization to do those exact things.
Right. And so the focus would be on sharing that information as opposed to like in order to maintain your membership. It would be a focus on kind of sharing that information, sharing those targets as opposed to reaching them. Like, are there requirements around actually reaching those targets in order to maintain membership? Or, well, not that everybody doesn't, expect
Rome wasn't
to meet
built
them
in a day. So let's start there. Like a lot of us have bigger ambitions than we can achieve overnight. And some of these start with just, your behavioral modifications, then start with like your operational modifications, and then start with looking at your facilities and your business structure as a whole, right? So like it's a growth thing. And like I said, it's very customized based on what your organization is looking for and looking to achieve.
Okay.
So the possibilities are endless. Of course, we want people to continue this process and we encourage them and support them. but Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're just starting. And sometimes these targets can be a few years out. So as long as
Right.
you're working year over year to kind of move towards that, we love helping and supporting you in that.
Great.
Is there any other questions? Because I'm loving this. You guys are really, really good at this.
Well, I don't see anything else. Just a few thank yous and comments. And
Well, thank
Esther,
you.
yeah, Esther provided some information on, on connecting. So making sure that everyone watches social media for your updates and your website. And also there's a way to subscribe to the newsletter on the website. But I didn't have any other questions. I think that's kind of it for me. If nobody else has any further questions.
And you know what? If you at 2 o'clock decide that something popped into your head, feel free to reach out. We love fielding questions. We can give you a little more personal or in-depth based on the specifics of your questions and your organization. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. We're right here on the ground working with you guys every single day and very happy to do so. And again, I want to exchange some gratitude for Sustainable St. John for giving us the opportunity to speak with people today. We're very appreciative of that opportunity, and we look forward to more and more inclusion within the St. John Business Network. And so we're very, very excited to be here in New Brunswick.
Yes, and we're very pleased that you were able to present today, Ashley. I think certainly it's along the same lines as what Sustainable St. John has been, trying to promote and support, the business community and sustainability initiatives. So this is just a whole other level. It's taking it to a whole other level of that, right? The real, the boots on the ground support that businesses need in order to start taking action on some of this stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. The work you're doing is great, and we look forward to having you on again, and and sharing any information that you want to provide with our members as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that offer.
Nope, that's great.
If there's no more questions, I think people have a little extra time before we have to get back to the grind. So again, a huge thank you for coming out and joining us today, and make sure to follow along with Green Economy on our socials.
Great. Thanks, Ashley. And thanks everyone for joining today. This will eventually be posted on our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure and sharing pleasure. And if you wanted to get involved in Sustainable St. John by providing input or becoming a board member, please reach out to us at info@sustainablestjohn.ca. And I think that's it. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ashley. Bye, everyone. Have a good afternoon.